to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just waiting for the recording to start. I have initiated the recording. We'll start once the recording starts. So today's class, we will be learning about the last concept, that is the graph coloring. Okay. So good morning once again to all of you. So we'll be starting with what is called as graph coloring in case of the graph theory. So what do we mean exactly by graph coloring? Now before we go into this graph coloring, let me take some, let us say this is a map. All of you know what is a map. Let's say this is a map of some country. Okay. And these are all different states. Okay. A is a state, B is a state, C, D, E, F. All these are states. Now this is a map. Okay. And these are all different states that I have, which are demarcated in the, as in a map. Okay. So if I have to distinguish between, let us say each one is a state, as I said, if I have to distinguish between each of these states, okay, how do I distinguish? Let us say I will try to color it. Okay, so if I have to color it, if I have to distinguish between two different states in the map, then I am going to color it with different colors. For example, state A that I have here, I will color it with a, let us say I will color it with red color. Okay, then I have to differentiate C from A. I don't want both A and C to look similar, right? So I will try to color this C with blue. Again, I have this B. B, I should differentiate B from A as well as from C, as well as from E and F, because A, C, E, F are all neighboring states of B. So I want B to look different from A, C, E, F, so that I am able to differentiate the state of B from these other states. So I will try to give it a different color. I will not give red also. I will not give blue also. I will color it with green. So that means one way to ensure that two adjacent states or two adjacent, let me call it as regions. Two adjacent regions should never have the same color, is to use a different color for each region. So if I try to use different color for each region, then obviously I'll be able to differentiate every region properly in the map. Okay. Now every map, this is a map. This is a map in the plane. This map, I can represent it using a graph. Okay, how do I represent this? This is a map, I said. Map has different regions. A is a region, B is a region, D is a region, C, E, F, all are different regions. Now this map, I can represent it using a graph. How do I do this? In order to represent this map using a graph, every region of the map, I am going to represent it as a vertex. Every region of the map, I will represent it as a vertex. Okay. Now, edges will connect two vertices. That means edges are going to connect if the regions represented by these vertices, if all these regions, they are going to have a common border, then I am going to represent these edges and different borders of the regions by the edges. Edges will connect two vertices if the regions represented by these vertices have a common border. For example, I have A and B. If you look in this map, A is one region, B is another region. A and B are sharing a common border. Is it not? So if they are sharing a common border, then I can represent it by a edge between A and B. Two regions, if they are touching only at one point, then I cannot consider it as adjacent. Then whatever graph you are going to draw based on this region, you call it as a dual graph. Okay. So given a map, I should be able to draw or represent this map using a graph. When I represent this map using a graph, I call it as a dual graph. Okay. So how do I do this? Every region of the map is represented by a vertex. And if the regions are going to share the common border, then I am going to represent them using edges. The resulting graph that we get, we call that as a dual graph. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Let us take an example quickly. Okay, let us say this is a map of some country, let us say. Now I am going to have different regions here. This is B. Let me quickly put down A, B, and then I have a C here. Then I have a D. Please note down F. Okay, and then this is E, and this is G. This is a map of some country, let us say. And this A, B, C, D, E, F, G are all representing different regions in the map, or you can take it as states or cities or whatever it is. Now, I have to convert this into a what is called a dual graph. So how do I convert? As I told you, every region of the map, you should represent it using a vertex. So how many regions we have? We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? 7 regions we have here in this map. So we will be using 7 vertices. Okay. This is A, this is B, this is my A. Every region represented as a vertex. All right. Then I have a C, then I have a D, then I have a E, I have F, I have G. Let me name it A, B, C. Wherever is a region, accordingly, I have taken the vertex also so that I am not confused. All right, these are my vertices. Now I'll try to connect this. If both these regions are going to share a same border, then I will connect it with an edge. Now, look at here. This is B, right? I'm just darkening it. That is B. This is my A. Is A and B sharing a common border?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So A and B is sharing a common border. So I will connect A and B using an edge. So there will be an edge between A and B. Next, C is sharing, and look at C. C is sharing border with B as well as with A, right? So I will have to draw an edge from B to C as well as from A to C. Because C is sharing border with both B as well as A. So I will be drawing an edge from B to C as well as from A to C. Come to D. When you come to D, D is sharing border with B. This is my D. Okay. Now this D is sharing border with B. It is sharing border with C. It is sharing border with A also. So I should have an edge from B to D. I should have from C to D. I should also have from A to D. Are you understanding what I am trying to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, let us come to E. E is sharing border with A. This part is A. So then it is sharing border with D. It shares border with F. It shares border with G. So I have to connect this much with respect to E. So it connects, shares border with E. So I'll connect A to E. It shares border with F. So I'll connect F. It shares border with does it share border with D? Yeah. So it shares border with D. So I'll connect this also. Then it shares border with G. So I'll connect that also. Right. So that means I'm sharing wherever your region E is going to share the border with, you are going to connect all those with edges. Next, come to F. F is sharing border with E, F, G and D. So I'll connect DF, I'll connect FG, and EF is already connected, so no issues, right? Next, come to G. G is sharing border with D and E and F. F and G is connected, E and G is connected, D and G I will connect. Alright. So this is a graph for the map that is given to us. Such a graph that we draw from the map that is given, you call it as a dual graph. Any doubts, anyone?
No.
Any doubts, anybody?
No, ma'am.
No,
All right. So let us take one more example and then try to see how we can still draw another dual graph. Okay. Take this map. That's my A. That is B, C, D, E. This is the map. Can you try drawing the dual graph? A, B, C, D, E. Okay, these are my vertices. Every region should be represented by a vertex. So we have 5 regions. I am representing all the 5 regions by a vertex. Now, A is sharing border with B, it shares border with C, it shares border with D. If you look at this line, which I am darkening, okay. So A is sharing border with B, C and D. So I will connect A to B, A to C, I will connect A to D. Is that fine?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next, B. Coming to B, B shares border with A. So anyway, A and B are already connected. B shares border with C. It shares border with E. Okay, so I have to connect BC and I'll connect BE. Right? So that is with respect to B. Coming to C, C shares border with A. CA we have already connected. C shares border with D. So C shares border with D and E. Right? So I will connect CD and CE. Alright. Then coming to D. D shares border with A. DA is already connected. D shares border with C. DC is connected. D shares border with E. Let me connect DE. E, coming to E, I think we have already connected everything. E shares border with B. EB we have connected. EC we have connected. ED we have connected. So this becomes the dual graph of the given map. Am I clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So let us go ahead with this and maybe so that's how we try to draw a dual graph. Next let us look at some important definition of what do we mean by coloring. Now, coloring of a graph is nothing but assignment of a color. Okay. Assignment of a color to each vertex of the graph so that no two adjacent vertices will have the same color. Okay, that is called as coloring of the graph. No two adjacent vertices are assigned the same color. That is what you mean by coloring. Now we have seen how we can try to, why we have to color the regions, because we want to differentiate the different regions from each other on the map, right? Now the map, how you can draw it as a color, map how you can draw it as a dual graph, that also we saw. Every region you are trying to take it as a vertex, and if the region is sharing a common border, then you are trying to connect that vertices with the edge. That is how you convert a map into a dual graph. Now, we are going to see why this coloring is required. You have to color the vertices, basically to differentiate the different parts of the graph. You are trying to color the vertices. How are you coloring means what? You are assigning a color to each vertex of the graph so that no two adjacent vertices. All of us know what are adjacent vertices, right? No two adjacent vertices should be assigned the same color. So if I am giving one vertex the color A, then adjacent vertex I cannot color it as one vertex. If I give the color red, adjacent vertex I cannot give the color red. I should give it blue, something like that. Two adjacent vertices should not have the same color. All right, so let us see. We will see one more definition before we go into some numerical problems. What is called as, this important definition it is, what is called as a chromatic number of a graph. Chromatic number of the graph is nothing but the least number of, listen very carefully, it is all very important and it is simple also. It is the least number of colors needed for coloring the graph. What will be, they will ask you, given a graph, they will give you a question, it will be something like this. They will give you a graph. They will ask you to find the chromatic number of the graph. What is chromatic number? Chromatic number of the graph is nothing but what is the minimum number of colors that you need in order to color that particular graph. Color the graph means what? Your assignment of a color to each vertex of the graph so that no two adjacent vertices are assigned the same color. So how many such colors are required so that no two vertices, adjacent vertices are going to have the same color? That number I call it as the chromatic number of the graph. Now this chromatic number of the graph is denoted by chi or chi or what you say, I don't know. Chi of a graph. Chi-square. You have all heard of chi-square, right? That is called, that is the symbol. This is the Greek symbol chi. Chi of G means it is called as the chromatic number of G. Right? Next, we have a theorem based on this, which is called as the four-color theorem. Okay, what does this state? Four-color theorem, what does it state? The chromatic number of a graph, I will put it as this way. The chromatic number of a planar graph is no greater than 4. That is what your four-color theorem states. That means if you have a planar graph, now we know in the last class we have studied what is a planar graph. What is a planar graph? A graph in which no edges are going to cross each other. That is called as a planar graph. If you take a planar graph, then the chromatic number of any planar graph will not be more than 4. That means the least number of colors that you require in order to color that particular planar graph will not be more than 4. That is what is called as a four-color theorem, right? And this four-color theorem, it applies only to planar graphs. Keep in mind, it applies only to planar graphs. If you have a non-planar graph, then you may need more than 4 colors to color that particular graph, right? Okay, now let us take up some example of how do we find out the chromatic number of a graph. Am I clear till here? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, we have seen what is coloring of the graph means. We will take up examples, so don't worry. Coloring means you are going to assign color to the vertex of the graph. In such a way, no two adjacent vertices should have the same color. That is called as coloring. Next, we saw what is chromatic number of a graph. Chromatic number of a graph means what? What is the least number of colors? Minimum. What is the minimum that is required in order to color a particular graph? We call it as chi of G, like similar to your chi-square. That is why chi-square or chi-square, what you call, I don't know. But you can call it as chi of G is called as a chromatic number of the graph. Next, we saw what is a four-color theorem. Four-color theorem means what? For any planar graph, the chromatic number will not be more than 4. Only for planar graph, four-color theorem applies only to planar graphs, not for non-planar graphs. Okay. Now, let us take up some simple graphs. Let's take out some examples to find out what is a chromatic number of the graph. Okay, let's take a simple graph. Let me take a graph. Write down this graph, all of you. I want you all to write down. Don't simply look at the screen. Are you all writing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't write, yeah, please write down. Write down and do it along with me. That is always better to learn maths. Otherwise, you will sit and look at the screen and nothing will get into your head. Please stop me and ask if you have any doubts anywhere at any point of time. Don't keep your doubts to yourself. Please mute. Some disturbance is there. Okay, this is my graph. Now, I have to find out what is the chromatic number of this graph. See, questions can be like this. Determine the chromatic number of the graph. That's all. Simple question. So, you should determine what is the chromatic number of this particular graph. What do we understand by chromatic number? Chromatic number means what is the least number of colors that are required to color a graph. All right. How should you color? You should color it in such a way that no two adjacent vertices will have the same color. Okay. Now, let me start with this. Vertex A. I will color it with red. I will color this vertex A as red. Okay. Now, can I color vertex B and C as red?
No, ma'am.
Now, what are the vertices that are adjacent to A? B is adjacent to A, C is adjacent to A. These two are adjacent to A, so I cannot color B and C with red. It is not possible. Whereas, if I come to D, I can still again color D with red because it is not adjacent to A. No two adjacent vertices should have the same color. That is all is our funda. Okay, next. If you color D with red, look at E, E, F, which are the vertices which are adjacent to D? B is adjacent to D, E is adjacent, C is adjacent, F is adjacent. All these four vertices, I cannot color it as red. Alright, but if you look at G, G is not adjacent to D, it is not adjacent to A, so I can still color G with red. Am I clear to you all? Can I have some responses, others?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Now we have four more. We have colored three vertices which are not adjacent to each other. We have four more vertices. We have to color B, C, E, F. We have to color these four. None of these four vertices can have the color red because all are adjacent to D. All right. Now for B, let me take. I will color the vertex B as blue. If I color B as blue, I cannot color C as blue. I cannot color E as blue because both are adjacent to B. But I can color F as blue because F is not adjacent to B. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next, if you look at, I have to color C and E. C, I cannot color it with red because it is adjacent to A. I cannot color it with blue because it is adjacent to B, it is adjacent to F. I cannot color it with red even because it is adjacent to D, which is also red. So I have to take some other color. I will take green. So if I color this as green. E also I can color it as green only because it is not adjacent to C. Right? We have colored all the vertices now, and we have also seen to it that no two vertices are having the same color. Are you observing that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So if I call this graph as, if I call this graph as G, chi of G is what? The chromatic number of graph. Chromatic number means what? The minimum number of colors that are required to color this graph. What is the minimum number of colors that we have used?
3, 4.
4.
3,
ma'am.
Yeah, 3.
red,
So
blue, green.
red, blue and green. That is all we have used. So the chromatic number of this graph is 3. Can we color the graph with only 2 colors?
No, ma'am.
It is not possible because every adjacent vertex you should have a different color. It is not possible to do it with 2. Minimum that is required to color this graph is 3. So we call the chromatic number of this graph as 3. Is it clear? That is what we call it as chromatic number of a graph or coloring of a graph. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's just take a couple of more examples. Okay, let me take one more graph. I will take the same graph again. Let me make a small change in that and see the difference that it will make in terms of coloring. Write down this graph. It is the same graph except for one edge which has changed, that is A to G. Okay. Can you color it and tell me the chromatic number of this graph? Can you do it? Note down this graph and start coloring it. And tell me the chromatic number chi of G. Let me have some answers. Are you all doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Any answers?
Is it 4, ma'am?
Okay, let us see what others will bring in. Can you do with 3? See, chromatic number, as I said, is the minimum number. Okay. If you are saying 4, you should not be able to do anything with less than 4. That is 3 colors if you are able to do. But if you say chromatic number is 4, then your answer is wrong. All right. So clearly, first you check properly. All right. Every time, whenever you are given a graph.
Yeah.
Any answers?
Four, ma'am. 4, ma'am.
4, ma'am.
Okay. All of you getting 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I will start, let us say, let me do it here. For those who have not got any of you, I will start this with red. So I cannot give B as red. I cannot give C as red. I cannot give G also as red. That's the only change here because I have to, because A and G are again adjacent. So I cannot mark G as red, whereas I can mark D as red. Once I mark D as red, I have 4 adjacent vertices to D, B, E, C and F. So I cannot mark any of these as red. All right. So B, I will take it as blue. Then I can take F also as blue in that case because it is not adjacent. E, I will take it as green. C also, I can take it as green. Now, G, I cannot mark it as green. I cannot mark it as blue. I cannot mark it as red. So, I have to take some other color. Let me take it as brown. So, minimum I require 4 colors in order to color this graph. So, I call the chromatic number of this graph as 4. Am I clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, good. Let us take a couple of more examples. Take this graph. I'm not going to do anymore. You have to do it and give me the answers. I'll pick up some names you have to do. I have to get answer from them. Do for this. One more graph I'm giving. For these two graphs, tell me what is the chromatic number.
For first one is 3, ma'am.
First one 3, ma'am.
First one is 3. All of you are getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me see. If A is red, I can't make C red. I can't make B as red. I can make D as red, right? So B can't be made red. So I can make B as blue. If I make B blue, C can't be made blue. So I'll have to make it green. So chromatic number is 3. Did all of you get that for the first one, 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Find the for the second one.
4, ma'am.
4.
4 is it? I haven't done. You tell me what is the answer. Others? Somebody said 4. What about others? Can I have a couple of more answers?
1.
1 now. Shadab?
3, ma'am.
3. Somebody saying 4. Somebody saying 3. Check it out. Are you all getting 4 or 3?
4, ma'am.
3, ma'am.
Are you getting 4
3,
or 3?
ma'am. 3.
3.
3, ma'am.
Yeah, what's the answer? 3 or 4?
3, ma'am.
3.
3, 4.
4. Let me only do it then. A is red. Why this confusion? Whether it is 3 or 4. A is red. So B, F, G cannot be red. Okay. So I cannot give them red. I can make either D as red or C as red or E as red. Any of them I can make it as red. Let me call D as red. If I make D red, G can't be red, C cannot be red, E cannot be red. All right. Okay. Next I will take B as blue. If I take B as blue, C can't be blue, G can't be blue, whereas your F can be blue. Yes, F can be blue. If I make F blue, G can't be blue, C can't be blue, E can be blue. Yes, yes, E can be blue. What else now? If I take a C as green, then G can't be green, G can't be blue, G can't be red. Okay. Then I have to use a different color for G. Yellow. So red, blue, green, yellow, 4 no. How did you all get 3?
Ma'am, from
4,
A
ma'am,
red,
answer.
pick C and E as red.
C and?
E.
Okay.
Then for B blue, pick G and D, F and D as blue.
Okay.
Then G green, 3 colors.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. 3 colors we will get, ma'am.
You should get, then fine. Good then. Red, C and what did you say?
C and E red.
C and D is red. Okay.
And D and F blue.
D and F. Okay, this is blue. F is
And
also blue. Okay.
G yellow.
What about B?
B blue, ma'am.
B is also blue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. F is yellow. Fine. 3 then. Good. See, this is what. If you are saying it is 4, then you should not be able to make it with 3. If you are able to make it with 3, then chromatic number, if you say it as 4, it is wrong. Right. It is 3. Fine. Shall we move further?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next, we will see what is the chromatic number of Kn. What is Kn?
Complete graph of n vertices.
Complete graph of n vertices. Now, whenever we take a complete graph of n vertices, the chromatic number of Kn is always n. This you have to remember always. Chromatic number of Kn is always n because you cannot have any two vertices with the same color. Can we try something? Let us take K5. Let us draw a graph for K5. Try for K5, all of you. Let me see. K5 means a complete graph with 5 vertices. All right. This is a complete graph. Yeah. This is a complete graph of K5. How many colors are required here? Can you tell me quickly? Do and tell me. I'm waiting for your answer.
5.
Hmm?
5 colors.
4, ma'am.
5 colors. Red. If I take this
5,
red,
ma'am.
yeah, I cannot. Any other vertex I cannot mark it as red because A is connected to all the vertices because it is a yes, it is a complete graph. Again, B I have to give different color. Once I say blue, no other vertex can be colored as blue because B is connected to every other vertex. So I cannot make it blue for any other vertex. Similarly, green, different 4, 5 different colors I require in order to color any complete graph. So what did I say? A complete chromatic number of a complete graph Kn is always n. Always it is n. Is that clear? Remember that solution, that theorem. Chromatic number of a complete graph of n vertices is always n. All right. So next, let's move to the next one. What is the chromatic number of complete bipartite graph? That means, what is the chromatic number of Km, n? Anyone? What is a complete bipartite of graph of Km, n? So suppose I take chromatic number, any complete bipartite graph. Let us say I am taking K2, 3. How do I draw a graph of 2, 3? Complete graph, 2 vertices on one side, 3 vertices on the other. I call this as PQ. I call this as ABC. I have to draw a bipartite. Complete bipartite means P is connected to A, P is connected to B, P is connected to C. Similarly, Q is connected to A, Q is connected to B, Q is connected to C. How many colors do I require to color this graph?
5.
Why 5? Who's
2,
that?
No,
4.
4?
4, ma'am.
4.
Why 4? I will color P as red. P and Q are not adjacent, means they are not connected. As long as they are not connected, they are not adjacent. I can make Q also red. Now P is connected to every other vertex A, B and C, so I cannot make any of them as red. Q is also connected to A, B and C, I cannot make any of them as red, but I can make all of them as blue. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So a complete bipartite graph is always chromatic number is 2. Always. Make that every bipartite graph is 2 colorable. One set of vertices in one subset, one color, another set of vertices in the other subset, another color. That's all. So V1 you will give one particular color C1, V2 you will give another particular color C2. That's all. Every bipartite graph is 2 colorable, or chromatic number of a bipartite graph is always 2. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, remember two things. Chromatic number of a complete graph of n vertices is always n. Chromatic number of a complete bipartite graph Km comma n is always 2. This 2 is very, very important. Right, next. Any complete bipartite graph you take and see. We took for K2 comma 3, take for K3 comma 3, K4 comma 3, any number, any complete bipartite graph, it is always 2. All right. Any doubts so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Next we move on to what is the chromatic number of Cn, where n is greater than or equal to 3. What is Cn?
cycle of complete graph.
Yeah, cycle. It is a
Number of-
cycle. Cn is always cycle where n is greater than or equal to 3. Now, what is the chromatic number of a cycle is what they are asking. Now, this let us take some individual cases. Okay. Now, let us say n is 6. Okay, if I take n is 6, how do I draw C6? I have to take 6 vertices. Okay, it's a cycle, correct? So, I will draw like this. This is a C6. All right. A, B, C, D, E, F. This is called C6. How many colors are required to color this? Can you tell me? Let us start with the first vertex, red. Okay. I cannot give red to B. B, I will make it as blue. All right. C, I can make it red. D, I can make it blue. E, I can make it red. F, I can make it blue. So, how many colors are required?
2.
So chromatic number of C6 is 2. I am only taking B. What is that we have to find out? What is the chromatic number of Cn? Where n is any number greater than or equal to 3. Correct. I am taking some general cases to see what is happening. Alright. So when we took C6, this is what happened. Now, let me take C5. Okay. If I take C5, so I should take 5 vertices cycle. All right. So this is A, B, C, D, E. Same rule let me follow. I will start with red. I'll move to the next vertex. I'll go on coloring each vertex in the clockwise direction. Let me go to B. In B I'll put it as blue. C I can put it as red. D I can put it as blue. E. What about E? I can neither put it as red nor I can put it as blue. So I will have to put a different color for E. Are you understanding me?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
when I take C5, the chromatic color comes 3. But when I took C6, chromatic color came 2. So what I can try to what I can say is, whenever your n is even, chromatic number of Cn is going to be 2. You take any number. Let me change the sheet 1 second. Okay. For finding out chromatic number of finding out chromatic number of Cn, that is what they have asked. You cannot generalize like we did for Kn, we did for Km, n, we generalize. This is n, this is 2, like that. But here, when we try to find out the chromatic number of Cn, it is not possible to generalize, because when we took n is equal to 6, we required only 2 colors. When we took n is equal to 5, we required 3 colors, right? So, what we can infer from this, when n is even, okay, the chromatic number of Cn is 2. When n is odd, chromatic number of Cn is 3. This is what we can arrive at. Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay. 2 more graphs I am giving. Find the chromatic number of this graph. Write down this graph. A, B, C, D, E, F. And A to D is also connected. Find out the chromatic number of this graph. One more graph I am writing here. Write down this also. Tell me the chromatic number of these 2 graphs. One more I am drawing here. For all the 3, you should tell me. Meanwhile, you answer your attendance. Anaga?
Yes, ma'am.
Abhilash?
Yes, ma'am. Abhilash.
Akhil? Akrut? Anusha?
Yes,
Arvind?
ma'am.
Arifullah?
Yes, ma'am.
Benakraj?
Present, ma'am.
Banu Prakash?
Yes, ma'am.
Bhargav?
Yes, ma'am.
Rahmatullah?
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra?
Present, ma'am.
Chandana?
Present, ma'am.
Charan? Darshan?
Present, ma'am.
Diksha?
Present, ma'am.
Dakshayani?
Present, ma'am.
Kishan?
Present, ma'am.
Harshit? Hemalata?
Present, ma'am.
Uma?
Present, ma'am.
Jayant?
Present, ma'am.
Divya? Kaushik?
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi?
Present, ma'am.
Lavanya.
Present,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Lavanya. Manish.
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Manoj.
Yes, ma'am.
Mohit.
Yes, ma'am.
Naval.
Present, ma'am.
Navya.
Present, ma'am.
Nikhil. Panindra.
Present, ma'am.
Pavan.
Present, ma'am.
Pooja. Purnima.
Present, ma'am.
Raman.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Rashmi.
Pooja present.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rupak.
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Sameer.
Present, ma'am.
Santosh. Shadab.
Present, ma'am.
Sharan.
Present, ma'am.
Shashank.
Yes, ma'am.
Sheetal.
Present, ma'am.
Shivani.
Present, ma'am.
Soumya.
Present, ma'am.
Spurti. Vishnu.
Present, ma'am.
Sugandhini.
Present, ma'am.
Sushma.
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita.
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita, you.
Present, ma'am.
Tirtha.
Present, ma'am.
Tripti. Varsha.
Present, ma'am.
Veena.
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am, Trupti present, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, did you all finish that?
Ma'am, 332.
Ma'am,
332.
ma'am.
Yeah, okay, fine.
हम आपको present, ma'am.
Yeah. First graph, what is the chromatic number?
3.
3.
Did all of you get 3?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Second
ma'am.
one?
3.
3.
Second one is 4 or 3?
3, ma'am.
3.
3, ma'am.
This can be read. Yes, this is blue, so this has to be green. 3. What about the next one?
2.
2, ma'am.
Any bipartite graph, the moment you see, you should tell it as 2. You don't even have to calculate. Alright? So that finishes the concept on coloring of graph. Some small applications of coloring are there. Maybe we can take it up tomorrow's class, and that will complete. That will complete our syllabus. All right. So we will again continue in the next class for tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.